Have you ever wondered how certain people manage to achieve so much in such a short amount of time? The first thing that comes to mind when I think of this is the phrase, everyone has the same 24 hours daily. If you pay attention, this is perhaps the most important thing you will ever learn. It's one of those things that they don't teach in school. Even though you may not have the money at the moment to buy actual assets that make you wealthy, you do have an asset that you can trade for cash. Your time is that asset. It also restricts your earning potential because you become less productive over time. Now, what if we apply the concept of arbitrage to time? And how can we use it to scale our finances and business? Before we get started, let's clarify what traditional arbitrage is. The practice of simultaneously buying and selling an asset in different markets in order to profit from differences in prices is known as arbitrage. As an illustration, suppose that the value of Bitcoin to USD Tether is $109,000 on Binance and $107,500 on Bybit. On Binance, I will sell Bitcoin for Tether. I will then send it to Bybit, where I will convert it back to Tether. As a result, a profit of $1,500 was made. This is the basic idea of classic arbitrage, which we may use in our business to leverage off other people's time. Now, let's address the first group, time to money. In essence, it's your job to find opportunities to turn your time into money. This could mean learning skills that come in handy for landing a job, doing freelance work, or launching a business. You can gradually increase your income with this method, but time constraints limit your earning potential and scaling capacities. This brings us to the idea of paying money for time. You hire someone else after working or freelancing for a while until you have enough money. Starting an agency or growing a business simply requires you and one other person. You may pay this person less than what they are making for their time and retain the difference because you created this opportunity. This is a fundamental business principle, and the rich know it. For this reason, every business has employees who add more value to the business than the company pays them. The difference is retained by the business as profit. The payoff for solving the time-money time arbitrage is this profit. If you've watched this far, please leave a comment below with the method you use to increase your business's earnings. Also, support us by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Using your time to develop assets that yield income over time, or investing your money in assets and real estate that increase in value over time are two more ways to leverage time. So let's break this down. As an author or artist, for instance, you invest your time in creating books, songs, and music, and you receive royalties each time a copy of your work is sold. The fact that some of the highest paid writers are long gone, but their work still brings in money, today is an interesting observation. And the owner of the copyright receives the money. Consider James Patterson as an example. He is an avid writer, and his stories are so good that they have been translated into many different languages. He has a net worth of up to $800 million, making him one of the most paid authors to date. When it comes to assets, we also have investments. Over the last decade, a number of millionaires and billionaires have been created through investments in stocks, real estate, and cryptocurrency, to name a few.
The best place to learn about the present state of the real estate market is inside of a bank.
If done correctly, the same can be true today. The first person that comes to mind when discussing stock investing is Warren Buffett.
There are two rules of investing, according to Warren, and he learned this from Ben Graham.
Rule number one, never lose money. Rule number two, never forget rule number one.
He has accumulated a multi-billion-dollar fortune primarily through purchasing stocks and businesses, making him one of the most successful investors in history. Those who put $10,000 into Warren's investment firm, Berkshire Hathaway, in 1965 are now worth more than $60 million.
I like to sit and think, and I spent a lot of time doing that, and sometimes it's pretty unproductive, but I find it enjoyable to think about, particularly about business or investment problems. They're easy. It's the human problems that are the tough ones. Sometimes there aren't any good answers with human problems. There's almost always a good answer with money.
It makes sense to include assets in your efforts to build wealth, particularly if you want to do it over the long run. When you are new to business, you put in a lot of effort to trade your own time for cash, and then you find out how to leverage this arbitrage to create a real business. Few people are aware of this process since they never think like business owners, but every successful business owner is aware of it. Now that you do, we hope you will use it to your advantage. If you like this video, click the next video on your screen to learn what the effect of 4 degrees global warming will have on the world's economy.